G'day everybody, it's Hunter here. So, today's going to be a little bit different. We are going to be servicing Ray's car, which is a 2004 2-litre Hyundai Elantra. So all I'm going to be doing today is an oil change. I don't need to do spark plugs and leads, they are still pretty current. I'm also going to give a little bit of a clean up of her car as well, because it's very dirty and messy, so I'm going to give it a bit of a clean up as well today. So it's pretty simple with these cars, just like any other small little front wheel drive car. Jack her up, make her level, drop the oil, change the oil filter, replace the oil filter, drop her back down, and then you're done, and then fill her up and you're done. Now she takes about 4 litres of oil. These are a lot more forgiving when it comes to oil, especially being a petrol. They do take they can take a variety of different oils and with viscosity rates depending on the kilometers and whatnot. So for today we're going to be using a 10 watt -40 semi-synthetic oil, 5 litre bottle, so we're only going to use 4 litres of this, probably a little bit less to be honest. This is a good oil. It was on special, so this was when I got it. Normally I go Newlon, but Newlon was not on special, so we're going Penrite. The oil filter is this one here, and you can see in the bottom right corner that it's code. The tools that you need is pretty much standard. You just need basically a socket set, ratchet, maybe some spanners, and an oil filter removal tool. The oil filter removal tool that I would suggest to use is the same one that I use on all the cars that I work on, which is this bad boy here. These are the best. They can get into any sort of small confined space. You can take this log off to make it even more flush. They can get onto any size diameter oil filter, and they're small, they're easy. They're just, yeah, they're my recommended. I don't like the strap ones where you strap around the oil filter and you sort of pull on it. They're not my favorite. So the first part you got to do is jack out the car. Now, to jack this car up, you got to jack it up on something structure. You can jack it up on there, which is the part of the K-frame there, but I'm going to jack it up here. So this is the lower frame which the engine mounts onto. This is a pretty strong structure, and it's attached to the chassis of the car, so it goes all around there, and it mounts the suspension components as well as the engine all on this one little subframe. So I'm gonna jack it up here so that I can get the whole front of the car up. To put jack stands on, I'm gonna put them there, and then at the rear, because I'm gonna level the car, I'm gonna jack up there as well and put the jack stands up the rear. So we're gonna do that now. Also make sure you chock the rear tires. The handbrakes on these cars are pretty shit, so I wouldn't rely on them. Okay, so she's all jacked up now. I've opened the top lid so then that way the oil will flow out. So they're the points that I'm using the jack stands to. I'm going down that route, so it's pretty stable under there. I've also got the 3-ton jack just sitting underneath the rear, just in case, you know, it drops. It's just a bit of a buffer. And I've got the jack stands on the jack stand points at the back rear of the car. Because this car's got kind of like a unibody system, jack points are always a pain in the ass on these cars because everything's weak and bends. Like when I jacked up the front of the car, the whole back of the car was going like that. There's not a strong body to me, but you know, that's pretty much how I do it. So now what we're going to do is find the drain plug on this thing here and undo it. I'll need to probably remove this little plastic guard here, but it's only just 4 bolts, but I'll see, because I also got to find where the oil filter is, which is I think at the back. I'm not too sure. Oh, there it is there. I think that's it. No, that's not it. I'll show you once I find it, but I'm gonna find where everything is, locate everything, and then I'm gonna drain it, and yeah. Alright, so to get to the oil filter, you got to take off this plastic guard here. Just those two bolts, that bolt there and that bolt there, and then the oil filter is just there, nice and easy to get to. The sump plug's just at the back of the sump, just on the other side here. So there it is. So it's just a plug there. Just undo that and let it drain out. But I'm going to take the guard off, get all this all ready to go, and get it all done. These things do have a problem of leaking out of this flexi joint here. They get deteriorated and they fall apart. You can see that the rust is pretty bad on this exhaust. The exhaust is going to be replaced from there, that joint, whether you see the muffler there, and it's going to go all the way back to the rear muffler. So that's what I'm going to do at some stage. The CV joints on this thing have been replaced recently, but look at all the deterioration on them already. It's crazy. Anyway, yeah, so we're gonna get started on doing that now. So this car was way overdue for an oil change. I'm just gonna let it drip for a while, and then I'll take the oil filter, replace the oil filter. While I'm waiting, I'm gonna have a look at the exhaust to see if I can take it off today. But if I have to replace the bolts, I can't do it today, so we'll just wait and see how it all goes, how it all plays out, I think. So I'm just going to move that out. But just let it drain until basically stops going from a stream like that to a very, very, very slow drip. Clean the face of the hole, put the sump plug back in, and then obviously you replace your filter and whatnot before you do that. But yeah, just let it sit for a bit. The key important thing with this stuff, make sure you take your car for a drive, get up to working temperature, and let it cool down, then do it. Then you get a nice stream like this. This oil is really old. Its car's been way overdue for an oil change. Even though this car's a pain in the ass to work on, I will give it credit where it's due. This engine is pretty indestructible. Doesn't get nowhere near the amount of treatment as it deserves, but it has been sitting long periods of time continuously and starting up. It's never good for a motor, but the fact that it hasn't blown the rings, hasn't blown seals or anything like that, is a testament to the engine itself. It's a good engine. It's just everything attached to it's poor, except probably the gearbox. But yeah. Alright, so the oil filter is changed, the sump plug's plugged in, everything's cleaned. Down there I'm just letting the degreaser clean the bottom of the engine where I've made a little bit of drips and drabs. Now, to make this process a lot easier, it is handy to lift out the dipstick and just let it sit like that, and that will allow air into the bottom of the sump, which will mean the oil, when I pour it down, will travel a lot faster. So I've given the funnel a bit of a clean up. So I'm going to put the funnel in there and then dump close to 4 litres. So I'll put probably 3 litres in there, and then I'll start checking the dipstick periodically to make sure that I don't overfill it. So yeah. Okay, so she's all done. I didn't use the full 4 litres as expected. There is still some oil in the car, but I got out as much as I can. I'll just give her a bit of a tidy up around there and whatnot with a rag, and I've topped up the water. I've double checked the coolant. I've just had the car running. It's good to get the car running while you still got it in the air. Make sure there's no leaks or drips. And that's pretty much it, really. I'm pretty happy with her. So I'm going to drop her down now, and she's done. I'll probably go for test drives, make sure that she's running fine, but other than that, I think she'll be right. I'm going to blow out all that out as well. So yeah, I hope this video helps. You can use this video for any sort of car. The basics are all the same for a particular small little front wheel drive car. You know, the first thing you do, safety obviously, chock the rails, jack the car up, get the car level, drop the oil. Sorry, I'll say that again. Take your car for a drive to warm her up first, then do all that stuff. take out the sump plug, let it drain as much as possible. Take out the oil filter, let that drain as much as possible. Clean all those surfaces with a paper towel. Make sure they're all spick and span. When you put the new oil filter, I've said this in other videos, but in this video, get clean oil and rub around the oil seal. That will help it seat and seal better. Put the new oil filter on. It only needs to be hand tight and a little bit of a nip. And then put the sump plug back in, clean it all again, then start filling her up. Fill her up for about, you know, close to what the capacity is, and then check it after every so often to make sure you don't overfill it, because you overfill it, you'll blow your motor. You underfill it, you'll blow your motor. So you gotta have it spot on. So yeah. So that's how you do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. A good day or night, depending where you are in the world. Thank you, and see ya.